Well, thank you so much, Dr. Watson, for the invite, and thank you so much for joining us on Mindful Mondays. Again, my name is Elenora Margi, and I am a board-certified behavior analyst, BCBA, but I'm also a parent of 3 beautiful girls. And, typically I am called in to talk about your kids' behaviors, but today we're really here to spend 1 hour and talk about you, provide you some support, some relief, and I'm really excited. So let's get started. All right, so I think, as parents, these are pretty unprecedented times. Not only we have just our own situations, right, that might be pretty overwhelming itself, but we are going through a pandemic, we're going through a lockdown, our kids are now with us, they're not going to school. There's job issues, probably some of us don't have a job right now, and there's all this marching going on. And so I really want to ask you, how are you doing? How are you doing today, really? And take a moment to think about it. If you are joining us on Facebook, on Zoom, and you want to type it, feel free to do it and just kind of let it all out. Be honest with yourself. Release it out. Maybe you're feeling tired, maybe you're scared, you're angry, maybe you're frustrated, overwhelmed, whatever it is. Don't think it too much, just whatever comes to your mind, just think about it, put it in the chat if you want. And this exercise is really going to help us not only be honest with ourselves, but if we are seeing other people that are participating in this seminar today and are maybe sharing the same feeling that you're feeling today, it helps us establish a sense of normalcy. Okay, and hold on to that thought. We're going to come back to it through the presentation. What's our goal today? We want to observe from a place of love. We want to give grace to where we are, no matter what that feeling is, no matter what that place is. And I want to share with you some basic knowledge on what is a thought, what are emotion, what's anxiety, and I want to give you a simple exercise that is so powerful and that you can implement today in your daily routine. And then I'm going to ask you just one thing to take action on it, and with one simple exercise a day. You ready? You're just scared and angry and frustrated and overwhelmed and anxious. And, if you're like the rest of the world, that's probably what we're feeling right now. And so take a moment and look at this tree in the picture. I just related to this tree so much in my situation as a parent, but especially now in this moment of chaos in the world. And what is this tree doing? It's just like barely hanging on, right? Barely hanging on, one minute at a time, and not able to maybe even ask for help or support. And the reality is that this beautiful tree is just doing the best that it can in that moment, right? And that's all of us. As parents, we're doing the best that we can in this moment. And I'm here to give you a little powerful tool today. I think as a parent and as a mom, it's so counterintuitive to don't give our 200% to our kids, to always be there to support them. We think about them first. But isn't it so true that when we are in this place of anxiety, of feeling overwhelmed and frustrated, can we really be there for them? And we're so connected, right? As parents, especially as mom, we just have this dynamic with our kids, and they feed off on that, right? And I have had parents throughout, my career just tell me, I noticed that when I am upset and when I am frustrated and when I'm angry, Johnny feeds off of it, and then he engages in behavior. Well, yeah, that's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. And so I love this little safety reminder that appears, or that we hear when we are on a plane. It says, right, should the cabin lose pressure, oxygen mask will drop from the overhead area. Please place the mask over your own mouth and nose before assisting others. And so true, so true. We really cannot give the best support to the people that we love the most, right, if we don't support ourselves in the first place. And so how do we determine if we need the oxygen mask, right? And so as some of you that maybe are receiving ABA services or have received ABA services for your kiddos, we use visuals, we use check-ins, we use scales like this one that I love, the anxiety 5-point scale, to really help our kids, right, guide through their routines, help them understand emotions. And guess what? These are the same tools that we can use for us as parents to help us determine, do I need an oxygen mask? And right now, most of us are probably feeling like in between the number 2 and 5 on that scale. Sure, right? I do have a little bonus treat for you guys. And at the end, stay with us until the end. I'm going to share my email, and just email me. I have a little free template that I can send you, and you can customize it, pick your cute little faces that you want to put on the scale, and you can start implementing it today. It's a powerful tool. And as you start using it, the more you use it, the more you practice, just like I would tell you for your kids, right? Just use the strategy. It's going to get easier and easier with practice. Now, how do I go back down, right? How do I go back to my baseline, to that kind of clear state of calmness? And so I want to show you the technique shortly, but I want to touch a couple of important points about understanding what is a thought, what are feeling and emotions, and what is anxiety. And so a thought in a nutshell is really an idea, right? An image that generates in our brain. And so take, for example, a yellow Jeep, right? You don't have to have it in front of you. You don't have to see it or touch it. You can picture it in your brain. That's how powerful our brain is. And feeling and emotions are all these complex little states that derive from a thought and really accentuates and kind of demonstrate in our senses, in our psychological states, in our behavior, in our bodily feelings. And so, for example, of the yellow Jeep, right, I might remember or get reminded that I took a beautiful trip to the beach with my kids in a yellow Jeep, right? I can almost hear the kids laughing. I can almost, feel the sun on my skin. And at the contrary, I can also have an example or a perception of the same thought, but a different feeling, maybe a feeling of anxiety where maybe my boss was driving a yellow Jeep. And that boss was not a nice person. And every time he pulled up in that parking lot, it raised my anxiety because I didn't know what he would come in and tell me, right? And anxiety is that feeling. It's a natural response to stress, but it's really a lacking of control in that situation. And guys, if we are feeling anxious, we are definitely here in the fight or flight response. Welcome. We have just kind of conquer that. Flight or flight response, there's a myriad of different definitions of it, and we can go in very specific terminology of it, but all it means is really that there's reduced oxygen to our brain, impairs our thinking, impedes our self-control. And so can you possibly imagine how can we support our kiddos if we are in this constant state of anxiety or fight or flight response? Right? We can't. We really can't support them at our best. And this is where that beautiful oxygen mask comes in. This is time to put on our mask. All right, let's try to do something now. And so, we talked about the yellow Jeep and how kind of, if I thought about it in a more positive memory, I will get pleasant emotion. If I thought about my boss, it would give me more negative emotion. And so really what this leads to is that if thoughts lead to emotion, and so if I change that thought, I can change my emotion. And we're going to try this little exercise. I want you to look at the picture on the screen. And if you're driving or you cannot close your eyes right now, please don't do it. But if you can, look at it for 2 seconds and then close your eyes. And I'm going to guide you for 20 seconds on a little exercise. All right, go ahead and close your eyes. Imagine these colorful fishes. Some are yellow, some are blue, some are in different color, and they're just swimming very peacefully in this beautiful water. It's not cold, it's not hot, it's just this perfect temperature. And I almost feel all these noises, right, that were so evident before, they're fading away. I almost cannot hear anything. It's so peaceful, so peaceful. And just this dance that these beautiful fishes are making is just so amazing. And they have all these beautiful colors. The water is clear, and I can just feel calm. My body relaxes, and I don't have that tension on my neck anymore, on my shoulders. And go ahead and open your eyes. And, you know, by now we should feel a little bit more calm than maybe when we entered this meeting. I know I do. I was a little nervous. I know I do. And this is what we have accomplished with just 20 seconds. We've just redirected our focus and attention to a thought and image, right? And guide you through it. And this is pretty powerful that our brain can do that. We're getting closer to this technique that I want to show you. So before we jump in, I want you to just dive into this little image of a lotus flower. And I don't know if you guys know much about it, but it's I did a little bit of research on this, and this flower is born out of the dirtiest water. You could never imagine it. It's murky, it's muddy, and when it is able to get a glimpse of light, it just blooms into this beautiful flower. And a lot of cultures and religion attributes the lotus flower as a symbol of enlightenment, of resilience. And it really symbolizes that no matter our situation, how dark it is, us as human beings have the potential to come out of it and to bloom and to find a little bit better of a peaceful place. And so with some of the techniques that I will be sharing you today, concentrating on breath, but then in the following Mondays, we'll dive into other powerful techniques. This is really our goal, to make sure that you get some tools to get a glimpse of that light. And so why did I choose breathing exercises as our first kind of exercise to kick off our presentation? Well, because breath is always with us, right? We don't have to remember to put it in our purse. We just have it. And it's an exercise that you can do so quickly and anywhere that you are. And the impact of it is so powerful. There is so much research that tells us how breath is connected to your emotions. And so this one that we're going to try to do together is called alternate nostril breathing. I'm going to guide you through it, so stay with me. If you're able to close your eyes, that would be probably best, because you'll really be able to focus and feel how your body changes. So your right thumb on the right nostril, you're gonna get your ring finger and your pinky finger onto your left nostril. So go ahead and close both nostrils now. Close your eyes. You're gonna open the left and take a big inhale in. You're gonna close and hold, or you're gonna exhale through your right. Now you're gonna take a deep breath in through your right, close and hold, and you're gonna exhale through your left. This is one cycle. We're gonna try it for 2 other cycles just to make sure. Inhale from your left, close and hold, exhale through the right. Again, inhale from your right, close and hold, exhale to the left. Last cycle, inhale from the left, close and hold, and exhale from your right. Inhale from the right, close and hold, and exhale through your left. Now slowly open your eyes. How are you feeling? Where are you now? Hopefully you're feeling a little bit better. Remember that word that you thought about or you typed in the chat? Hopefully we moved from a place of a little bit more calmness. And again, our situation has not changed, right? We're still in lockdown, virus is still out there, so forth. But it's really about the way that we are reacting to the situation and feeling a little bit more empowered and in control. And remember, as a parent, you are deserving, and you definitely deserve a moment to breathe, to take 2 minutes. That was quick. That was only 3 cycle. You can do it for how many long cycle you want. I mean, 3 is probably the best, but if you can go for 5 or 10, that would be amazing. But again, just a few minutes, you are absolutely deserving of that time for you. And so just like with your kiddos, I would tell you, well, you gotta use the strategy for them to work. And so we gotta take action, we gotta do them. But for you, it's really important to establish your why you joined us today, why you want to do this exercise. It's really important to really respond to that question. And when we are trying to establish a new habit, we want to make sure that we have a support system. And who is your support? That could be your spouse, it could be your brother, your sister, it could be your aunt, it could be one of your kids, it could be a friend. And look, if you don't have anybody that you call your support system, please let us be that person or that place where you can just tune in on Mondays and for us to be your support. So important. We all need it. And especially when we're trying to change something, to establish a new habit. And your support is there so you can share and celebrate the successes. Remember, in ABA, when we say you gotta reinforce your kids, you gotta celebrate when they are, finally, going to the bathroom, when they're finally putting on their shoes on their own, right? You gotta reinforce them. Well, guess what? You deserve and you need that reinforcement as well to increase your behavior. And the support system is also there to share maybe those moments that, hey, you know what, I did not do my breathing today, and it's gonna just hold you accountable and just say, okay, we're gonna try again tomorrow. And it's important that if you are, for example, trying to implement this technique in your routine, that you don't set a goal that it's unachievable. You say, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it 50 times a day, because you're not. So be okay with selecting a goal that it's doable, even if it's just once a day, it's something. And my favorite word as a BCBA, it's consistency. So consistency, just like with your kids, I would tell you one of the powers of our techniques is that we're consistent and implementing them. The same thing for you. You gotta be consistent. And so what have we learned today? What have we accomplished? We learned that we need to put our oxygen mask first before helping others. That at any moment we can really stop and notice how we feel from a place of grace and love. And we learned that by changing our thoughts, just for a quick 20 seconds, just shifting our attention and our focus, we can really make a change in our emotions. How do we do that? We want to set up some recurring self-check. And again, here I'm going to show you my email in a few. So if you want that free little template, I can send it. And we got to take consistent action. So we got to breathe. One more thing before I leave you to some question answer. As a BCBA, my goal is always going to be focused on antecedent strategies. Why? Because they prevent the behavior. They prevent Johnny for hurting himself, right? They prevent Johnny for that meltdown. Well, guess what? Antecedent strategy for you too, right? To prevent you for becoming upset, for getting so overwhelmed, but then you cannot help your kiddos that you love so much. So again, each Monday, I'm gonna be sharing with you a little powerful technique, something quick that you can implement in your routine, but that can leave you with some really powerful impact and support you through this journey. I hope you enjoyed it.